Your fear is a liar. Are you feeling trapped in analysis paralysis because anxiety keeps whispering "what if" in your ear? Do you notice fear creeping in and preventing you from taking positive risks or embracing change? Hello everyone, and welcome back to Rewire Mentality. Today we're going to learn how to rediscover ourselves and develop unshakable mental toughness and resilience by cultivating the core Stoic virtues. Be ready to break free from the chains of fear. But first, let me tell you a story about Zeno of Citium, the father of Stoicism. Back in 300 BCE, Zeno was traveling by ship from Phoenicia to Athens when disaster struck. Zeno was a wealthy merchant from Cyprus who lost everything in a shipwreck. Having lost all his possessions, Zeno wandered into the city destitute and despondent. Seeking wisdom and shelter, Zeno stumbled upon the Painted Stoa, a portico where philosophers gathered to debate and learn. Introduced to the philosophy of Socrates in Athens, he was immediately drawn to the teachings of Crates the cynic. Zeno realized that true resilience comes from within. Material possessions and status can be lost in an instant, but our principles remain. By cultivating virtue, justice, courage, and moderation, we gain an unshakable mindset to overcome any challenge. Though once wealthy himself, Zeno was inspired by Crates' radical self-sufficiency and indifference to material things. He realized that true resilience came from strength of character, not wealth or status. Zeno began synthesizing the practical ethics of cynicism with the logic and reason of earlier philosophies. Soon, he founded his own school of thought right there in the Stoa, a school focused on the development of virtue and inner tranquility. And so, despite, or perhaps because of, his shipwreck and loss of fortune, Zeno charted a new philosophical course that continues guiding lives centuries later. Out of adversity came profound wisdom. Remember what I said at the beginning of the video, your fear is a liar. From now on, I want to empower you to recognize that fear is a natural part of life, but it doesn't have to control your decisions. Every challenge, every setback, and every moment of uncertainty is an opportunity to grow stronger. Just like Zeno, who turned adversity into profound wisdom, you have the power to transform challenges into stepping stones toward a resilient, fulfilling life. Dear comrades in the quest for knowledge and growth, we arrive at the critical question: how does one build unshakable mental toughness through Stoic virtues? Are you ready to elevate your mindset to new heights and forge a new path for your life? Join me on this transformational journey as we actively cultivate the core Stoic virtues and fortify our character. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss a single video as we overcome self-doubt and achieve our full potential. The journey is just beginning. The ancient Stoics were convinced that actively developing wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance created resilience of character. By embedding these virtues into our lives, we construct inner strength capable of overcoming any hardship. Later in the video, we'll discuss how to actively strengthen these four virtues in our daily lives. But first, let's clearly define what each cardinal virtue truly means. Clarity of understanding allows mastery in practice. Number 1, wisdom. Wisdom represents discernment, the ability to separate facts from falsehoods and make judgments aligned with the truth. A wise person sees the world clearly without getting misled by emotions or misperceptions. Practicing wisdom allows us to view challenges rationally and respond effectively. As adults, we prize intelligence, but in life's challenges, what separates the wise from the simply smart? Discernment, the capacity to penetrate confusion and discern the truth. Wisdom represents seeing through the tangles, peering behind anger to find hurt, behind criticism to find fear. The wise sort signal from noise, intent from action. They identify root causes, not just surface symptoms. With piercing discernment, the wise stay anchored in reality, not tossed about by passing storms of emotion. They judge right, undistorted by prejudice. Their vision unclouded, they act with integrity. Developing wisdom's clear sight allows us to view setbacks rationally rather than reactively. We perceive the essence, think broadly, respond aptly. No longer misdirected, our efforts gain purpose. For discernment pierces the fog, guiding us to truth north. There resides the still point in spinning chaos, the path in trackless woods. The discerning cannot be misled for long down fruitless detours. Wisdom lights the way. Number 2, courage. One of the most important Stoic virtues is courage. Courage means facing fears and enduring adversity with bravery and resolve. Instead of running from hardship, the courageous person leans into difficulties and does what must be done despite discomfort. Strengthening courage makes us unstoppable in pursuing noble goals. For courage asks that we walk into our fears rather than away. True courage means confronting pain, uncertainty, danger, not recoiling but engaging. It means sacrificing comfort, risking failure, pushing past limits, because giving up would betray our principles or purpose. The courageous individual does not flee from adversity, but sees it as a proving ground. They understand that worthy goals require traversing hardship undeterred. Quitting can never be an option. Developing personal courage is no easy task. It requires marching against instinct, against the impulse to avoid suffering we know our path may contain. But if we hope to live by our values, courage is non-negotiable. With bravery and resilience, we gain the unstoppable strength to do what is right, no matter the cost or opposition. We become unflinching in the face of fear itself. Number 3, justice. Justice means aligning our actions with both universal and personal reason. We should treat all people justly, not based on biases or preferences. When faced with unfair situations, practicing justice means responding rationally and proportionality rather than reacting with anger or resentment. Justice represents one of the cardinal virtues we respect most in principle, yet abandon all too readily in practice. For embodying justice asks more of us than passive theory. It demands action aligned with our ethics. True justice requires that we treat all people fairly, not just those we personally prefer. That means not turning a blind eye when the disadvantaged face discrimination or lack access to basic needs. Justice also necessitates responding proportionally to wrongs instead of lashing out in vengeance. If retaliation feels satisfying in the moment, over the long term, only perpetuating the cycle of harm. When we face unfair situations, injustice provokes us to anger or resentment because it violates our deeper expectation of universal reason. Yet reacting spitefully rarely rights the scales. The most ethical response is engaging in justice at its root cause through social action, community service, protest movements. The wheels of justice turn slowly but grind exceedingly fine in the end. And finally, number 4, temperance. Temperance is exercising self-control over our pleasures and desires. The Stoics believe freedom came from mastering our appetites, not satisfying them. When we feel tempted to overindulge or lash out in frustration, temperance means assessing why we feel that way and choosing a moderate, balanced response grounded in wisdom rather than desire. The temperate person says no to momentary pleasures in order to achieve lasting fulfillment. By developing temperance, we gain incredible self-mastery. Becoming temperate requires assessing why we turn to unhealthy habits for comfort or release. The root causes often trace back to unmet needs, stress, or avoided pain. Addressing those with wisdom grants us agency over cravings. With self-mastery, we can endure discomfort in the service of higher goals, delaying gratification. We can walk past temptations that would compromise our values. No longer ruled by passions, we gain authority over our own minds. The temperate person understands freedom not as the latitude to pursue every appetite, but the liberty of lasting fulfillment over fleeting pleasure. They act from ethical character, not fickle desire. Such self-control isn't easy in a culture commanding us to consume more, vent all, but the rewards of temperance are serenity, purpose, and becoming the pilot of our own ship at last. By focusing on these 4 key qualities, one can strengthen their character and overcome any obstacle or adversity. For now, reflect on times when you demonstrated wisdom in assessing situations clearly, courage in confronting difficulty, justice in acting honorably, and temperance in exercising self-control. These moments reveal your inner resilience. The wise person recognizes anxious thoughts as exaggerated falsehoods, avoiding paralysis by analysis. The courageous individual pursues worthy goals despite naysayers' warning of failure. The just person builds positive communities that provide strength during trials, and the temperate soul weathers life's ups and downs with disciplined calm. Keep developing your virtues, and you will become unshakable. The obstacles that once held you back will no longer hinder your growth. Your full potential will be unlocked. Dear comrades, we all feel fear at times, but the cultivation of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance makes us resilient beyond measure. We can achieve incredible feats and find deep fulfillment. Are you ready to break free from fear and unlock your boundless potential? The journey starts now. Let's discuss how to actively strengthen these 4 virtues in our daily lives. The first step is mindfulness. Set aside time each morning to reflect on living the virtues. How can you demonstrate discernment in assessing situations clearly? How will you act and speak with integrity today? Scan for opportunities to lean into hardship courageously. Each morning, ask yourself, how can I show good qualities today? You might think about being very honest, showing kindness to everyone, trying hard things even if they scare you a little. Come up with a plan to demonstrate those virtues. Complete all your work nicely, even if it's challenging. It feels good to start each day setting the goal to do virtuous things. It helps you remember to make good choices whenever you face obstacles. So remember to take a few mindfulness minutes when you wake up. It puts your mind in the right place to show courage, justice, wisdom, and other Stoic strengths all day long. When adversity strikes, use that as a triggering event for virtue practice, feeling fearful about an outcome. Lean into courage by facing the discomfort head-on. Perceive the situation accurately, using wisdom instead of getting swept up by anxious stories the mind spins. Interacting with difficult people, see it as chance to practice justice and compassion, feeling tempted by momentary pleasures like overeating. Exercise temperance through moderation and self-control. By embedding virtue practice into your daily routines, you cement resilience with each small choice you make. Tiny drops of water over time carve holes in mighty stone, and living the Stoic virtues molds unbreakable character. Use a journal to track situations where you successfully demonstrated or struggled with virtues like justice, temperance, etc. Note what you can learn. In difficult moments, pause and visualize, consulting the inner Stoic for advice on acting virtuously, not emotionally. Pair daily activities with virtue reflections, exercise temperance in diet, work on wisdom by learning something new. When upset, label your emotion and replace the desire driving it with the corresponding virtue. Replace anger with justice, worry with courage. Avoid word use emphasizing luck, chance, and focus on using language that emphasizes virtue and personal agency. Cultivate Stoic discussions by asking friends, family for virtuous perspective on challenges rather than sympathy. Notice automatic thoughts discouraging virtue and replace through controlled reflection focused on rational assessment. To recap, actively cultivate wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance through mindfulness, turning adversity into opportunities and making small, intentional choices daily. Gradually, you will transform into the rock against which all obstacles break. Cultivating these virtues rewires our mindsets for mental toughness. When faced with difficulty, we can ask ourselves, what would the courageous choice be? What is the temperate path? This clarity guides our progress. We covered critical ground today in overcoming fear and self-doubt. I hope you feel empowered on this journey of self-mastery. Never forget, your fear is a liar. You hold the power to shape your character and unlock incredible potential. Embrace the journey of self-discovery and remember that true strength comes from within. By actively cultivating virtues like wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, you're not just overcoming challenges, you're forging a character that can withstand any storm. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, and join our community of individuals committed to rewriting their mentality. Your potential is limitless, and every day is a chance to become the best version of yourself. Remember, you are not defined by your circumstances or fears. You are defined by your resilience, your courage, and your commitment to growth. Stay tuned for more empowering content, because the path to greatness is a journey we take together. Thanks for being a part of Rewire Mentality, and remember, you are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. As we wrap up, I'd encourage you to continue your education by tapping into the other videos available on our channel that explore key elements of Stoic philosophy. And join me in the next video, where we will do an even deeper dive on the Stoic path to mental toughness. Until next time, start putting virtue into practice and observe your growth. Keep rewriting your story with strength and purpose. Be peaceful, be happy, and stay present. Become the person you've always wanted to be.